Hey guys, what's up? Back on the channel. It's been a minute. It's been a lot of time going off and doing a whole bunch of stuff. Spent some time in Bali earlier this month, so that was a lot of fun. And we're here today to be talking about manifesting your relationships back, manifesting your specific person. So today is supposed to be a live Q&A. Didn't make any announcement on this. I'm just literally coming on here to talk and answer any questions. So if you got any, please feel free to jump in. Let me adjust my little camera here. Anyway, dropping stuff. Yeah, it's been a minute since I've been putting out content. I've been very busy behind the scenes. Welcome. Today's live Q&A. Say what's up. Hello in the chat. Please feel free to drop any questions that you have about manifesting your specific person back, because that's what we're talking about today. I'm always here to answer any questions that people got. Hey, Victoria, what's up? Got one of my peoples who is just, well, actually, you're supposed to be hanging out with your person tonight. Well, actually, no, Sunday. I know Sunday you guys are hanging out. He's probably coming over tonight too anyway. Is he coming over tonight? Is he? Oh, Victoria, you probably got like a little message that came up. How did you know that I was live? Huh. Oh, what do I want to share with you guys that's been going on lately while I'm waiting for more people to file in? Hey, if you're just getting in, please feel free to drop where you're tuning in from or your questions in the chat. I just love having conversations back and forth. What has been coming up today? What did I have conversations with people about? We talked about fishing, related people. Ooh, that was really good. One thing that was really interesting that I was having a conversation with the client with earlier today was around. Oops, that's not good. We talked earlier today about kintsugi, which I'm going to be using as like my new major focus. Is kintsugi. If you don't know, kintsugi is a really interesting art with bowls. It's a Japanese art of repair, and it's about celebrating the cracks and imperfections and problems that happen in the lifetime of an object. For kintsugi, what you're supposed to do is you usually have an item that's been broken. It'll be like a glass or a mug. Well, not a glass, I'm sorry. A piece of pottery. So it could be a glass or a bowl, and it shatters. And instead of just putting it back together and trying to hide the cracks, kintsugi is taking the lacquer, and the artisan mixes the lacquer with gold and begins to piece the item back together, highlighting the cracks with this gold lacquer mixture. Looks beautiful, looks gorgeous. And the funny thing was, the client that I was having a conversation with, once I brought up kintsugi, he went and ran to the other room. And when he went and ran to the other room, he came back and told me a story of how there was a moment where he was having an argument with one of his exes, and there was just something heavy about the energy in the room, and this red mug that was his favorite mug that his mom had given him had fallen over and cracked, and his specific person took the mug and put it back together using kintsugi. So he has this beautiful, gorgeous little red Mickey Mouse mug that his mom gave him, that's covered in golden lacquer, that's put back together, and the cracks just make it look really cool. And I was like, that is awesome. That's an amazing piece that brings you closer to your person. You should actually use that as like a prop in your content, because it's something that's a reminder of your relationship with your person. I thought it was gorgeous. It was beautiful. And it was a representation of the relationship. That's why I love kintsugi, because it's meant to show us that things can be beautiful even when they're broken. And to be honest, most of you, if you're watching something like this, most of the time it's because your relationship has broken to a certain degree. And the breaking is not a problem. The breaking is a feature. It is usually meant to be something that shows the beauty of your love and the history of what the two of you have been together, which is ultimately what we want to do when we talk about being in a relationship. No person leaves a relationship unscathed. Every relationship has its problems and issues. And if you haven't had problems and issues in a relationship, then you probably haven't been in that relationship long enough. So that's why I love coming on here and talking to people about getting the relationships back, because it is very possible. It is extremely possible. The only thing that you need to do is that you need to decide that you're going to be piecing stuff back together, like the artisans who put pieces together for kintsugi. Okay. Let's see if there's anything I need to edit. Customization, moderation. Okay. Please, as I'm talking through all this stuff, please feel free to drop your comments or questions down in the chat. It gives me the opportunity to flex, because most of my stuff works best when people have questions. Like, what are you dealing with? What are you struggling with? You looking to manifest somebody back? Fixing your old relationship? No contact? Drop your question in the chat. And what else happened? What else happened earlier today? The kintsugi conversation. Been having a lot of conversations with people related to fear, and having the fear being one of the main issues that keeps people out of the relationships that they truly want to be in. A whole lot of fear. Welcome, viewers. Please feel free. Drop some comments in the chat. I love my back and forth conversations. I know I've been gone for a minute, but I haven't been gone for like ever. Please hop in, say what's up, talk a little bit. Give me your questions. What are you guys dealing with? I guess it's time for me to talk about like one of the main things that I'm looking to pivot towards and focus on, because one of my clients brought it up. He talked about the intention that I said in one of our videos privately, because inside of the group I do work with select sort of people, and he was talking about how I had set the intention that the people that I work with are power couples. Especially with like my one-to-one work, I love working with business people and power couples, or soon to be power couples, like people who are like really successful in their own business or in your own career, and you're looking to come together. Ooh. Can you, and how does one manifest more than one? Question: are you referring to manifesting more than one person or more than one thing? Okay, so manifesting more than one SP. Both of them in romantic context, or are you just talking about manifesting multiple people for like different context? Great question, by the way. Just one clarification before I go into it. Okay, so both. So when you're doing something like manifesting a specific person in just different contexts, let's say you want a specific kind of client and you want a specific kind of romantic person. So if they're different contexts, it's pretty simple. What you would do in that case is just focus on, again, crafting a scene that lets you know that you've hit the feeling of the wish fulfilled, Neville Goddard style. So what is the actual feeling of the wish fulfilled that's important to you? And essentially what you would do is you would do one at a time. I wouldn't necessarily have people do multiple, because if they're in two separate contexts, it takes a lot of creativity to figure out how to get somebody in a business context and also to get somebody in a relationship context. Although it is possible, like you could create a combination scene. Let's say if you have a business and a relationship context, if you're trying to manifest a specific person for both of them, you could do something where you have a scene where the two of you happen to be together with the other person. So, like, for instance, if I wanted a specific person to show back up as a client and I want my relationship with my person, I might combine the two, where I would go out to dinner with both of them, and it would be me and the person I'm looking to do business with, and me and my partner. And we're having conversations, having a good old time, celebrating some big milestone that the client hit because of like our whole conversation that's going on. And that works because naturally, if you're with a client, you're going to go out to dinner with your significant other. So your significant other is going to be there hanging out with you. You guys are in the relationship, and you also have the relationship, the business relationship with the other person in the other context. So you can do a combined scene. I don't necessarily suggest that to a person if you haven't had a lot of experience with both of them. I would usually suggest a person to do multiple scenes. So just focus on one at a time. So which one is the most important and the highest priority? And that's the one that you would focus on first. If the business relationship is the one that's most important, that's the one you would focus on. Okay. The business relationship is the one that's more important that you'd focus on, then you'd focus on that. If the SB is the most important one, then you would focus on a scene regarding that one. Now, if you're looking to manifest multiple specific people in a romantic context or more than one SB, perfectly fine. Same example. What you would do would be, for that case, the thing that might make a little bit more sense would be one at a time, would be focusing on one person and then focusing on the other. Or if you're in, let's say, a poly relationship, because I have had people who've come to me with that as like a desire. In that case, what you'd be looking to do would be focusing on a scene that combines both people together with you. And it might be, again, same context, all of you out to dinner or something along those lines. The whole point is that whatever scene you construct, it creates the feeling that you want in the relationship, which is, hey, everything feels fine. Everything feels wonderful. We're connected. There's love, there's passion, there's understanding and peace between all of us. And that's what the thing that you focus on. So that can work really well. For most people who are particularly poly, because this is one of the conversations I was having earlier today, is like a lot of the times the thought might be that you want a particular person, but that may not necessarily be the case. The one thing that I would suggest to do to make the process a little bit easier is, if you really do care about having multiple people and that's the important thing for you, I would suggest focusing first on the specific person and get very clear on what qualities do each of these people put out. Oh, well then, like I said, you would just do one at a time. If it's not necessarily a poly relationship, it's like relationships, dating, and special friendships, I would do one at a time. I would do, that's what I would suggest, because then you could put more energy into building that specific and particular relationship. So I would say whichever one's the higher priority to you, and that just so happens to also have like a high degree of believability, that's the one that I would suggest focusing on first. So yeah, if it's the case of leading up to marriage too, and you're looking at both relationships and special friendships, if that's the thing that matters to you, what I would suggest is Focus on one at a time. Which one's the most important to you right now? That's the one that you put your time and energy and attention into. That's the scene that you construct of you being in your relationship with that person. And then once you get that, that's when you would focus on the other one that would be important with a specific person. Give more context, so I can give me a little bit more context to work with, and I'll give you something a little bit more specific in terms of like an answer for that one. Okay, but that's a pretty good question. What's up, everybody? If you're tuning in, today's supposed to be a Q&A about manifesting specific people or your specific person. So if you're in the process of looking to get a relationship back, or you want to start dating a specific kind of person that you don't know yet, then ask your questions down in the chat. Yeah. That was one of the things that I was having a conversation with a client earlier today about was they had somebody that they needed to release, and the problem that they were having was that they had this sort of connection with that person that was difficult, that they hadn't necessarily articulated like what it was that they were getting out of that relationship with the person. So the one thing that we did was we sat down and wrote out, like, what is it that you find so attractive about that particular person that you haven't let go? Because you know the areas that you don't fit in the areas that you don't gel in. Let's focus on the ones that you do, so that you know the qualities that you want that you can bring into your next relationship. So we sat there and wrote about it. It was sexual chemistry, this euphoric experience where there's a feeling of deep connection between the two of them. And that feeling of deep connection was what he didn't want to let go of, was that experience, because it was at the level of like a deep soul remembrance, a deep soul tie when the two of them were together. And physically, the thing that was the hottest about her was like when he touched her, the feeling of her like created like this animalistic like urge, this primal desire. So for him, the thing that was the glue in the relationship was that primal connection, that primal desire, that feeling that they shared together. And he was like, yeah, that was amazing, that was wonderful, and that's what he didn't want to lose. He didn't want to lose that connection. But by taking the time to articulate the qualities that he wanted out of this person, now it's easier for him to get what he wants, because he realizes that this is a quality that he can seek out in other partners, and it doesn't necessarily have to come from her. So he can let the form go, because he knows he's not a good fit with her. He knows he doesn't want to have kids with her. He knows he doesn't want to get married to her. And he knows that she doesn't fit in the dynamic of the relationship that he wants, but he knows that kind of chemistry was what he really, really cared about, what he really valued in the relationship. And instead of focusing on what wasn't in alignment with the relationship, by focusing on what was and articulating it, writing it down, it was easier for him to start focusing on it. And that's what I've done with my other clients who've wanted very specific relationships, is getting them to focus on what are the qualities that you liked from your previous relationships. Let's strip down the form, remove the form of the person of who it is, and let's get very clear on what are the qualities that you actually want in your partner. What do you want in terms of your level of intimacy? What do you want in terms of like physicality? Well, not necessarily physicality, but like the physical interaction between you and your partner, because some people like playing video games, other people like being like physically fit and being active. What are the lifestyle values that you care about? How do you want to communicate between you and your partner? And most of the time when we talk about wanting a specific or particular person, what we actually want are the qualities that this person has that we only believe is available in that package, in that person, or they're the only person that we have met that have exemplified these qualities. And the one thing that either brings the person back or brings somebody into your life that may be a better fit, that embodies the same energy and same qualities, is that you have to spend time articulating what the heck is it that you like about this person? Like, what is it? What is it about them? Yeah, they're attractive, they're wonderful, but like, what do you actually care about? What do you like about them? Maybe it's the values. Maybe it's the fact that you guys both have the same dreams, blah, 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 blah. There's a whole list of things. Like, figure what that stuff is out, write it down. Because when you write it down, you'll find, you'll start noticing people around you who like embody those qualities again and again. And ultimately, there's going to be somebody that you end up meeting that embodies most of those qualities. And the funny thing is, sometimes the person who embodies most of those qualities is your specific person coming back into your life who's embodying all those qualities that you cared about and that you wanted because you articulated and wrote down what you cared about. Excuse me. Okay, when you meet at one time, let's see. I have someone from my younger years, high school, young adulthood. We recently worked together community wise and have lots in common. Yeah, not too much alike. When we're like rejecting Maggie, this is funny. Yet this person does the same thing to all who approach. We're same yet opposite. I was told that my mate is right in front of me, and she is. I'd like to tell you more about her and each of them, but not on here. Okay. Some of my SPs are long distance. Okay. So what are your other specific persons? What are the other relationships? Because you mentioned that this person you've worked together, community wise. So who are the other people? And we could talk in a different context about the other stuff, but this is something that's interesting. And please, if you're tuning in, please feel free to ask any questions. Drop them down in the chat. I'm going to be on here for like another 24 minutes before I hop off. Oh, Mom. All right. I got a client talking about that. Hey, what's up? Actually, no, I haven't gone live in quite a while. It's been a minute. This is how is your mom? My client. Yeah, I haven't gone live in quite a while. It's been a minute. I used to go live a little bit more regularly, and I'm gonna be putting out some new videos. I got some videos that were recorded when I was out in Bali for a business mastermind because I'm working on scaling of the business. So you guys are going to see a lot more videos coming out, and I just wanted to just hop on and create some content because I haven't been making videos in quite a while. So welcome. Hey, everybody, some new viewers. Welcome, everybody. If you have any questions, I'm doing an Ask Me Anything related to manifesting your specific person or manifesting relationships. So if you have any questions regarding manifesting or trying to get your specific person, working to get your ex back, working to repair a relationship, please drop it down in the chat. I'm here to answer. I'm going to be here for like the next 23 minutes. I got another call that's coming in at 6:30 here, Eastern Standard Time. Okay, when you ask who are the others, explain more in detail, please, because the information that you're speaking of. You said that there's some of your SPs that are long distance. What I was asking was like, who are those other specific people? Because if you don't want to talk about the specifics of the retracting magnet relationship, you can talk about the other ones because I think you'd probably be a little bit more open to talk about that. No, I'm glitchy. Oh, what's up, Clayton? What you been up to, girl? It's been a minute. What you been up to? Give me more context, because you're saying that you want to manifest the other people. What do you mean by that? Do you want to manifest conversations with them? Do you want to manifest them coming to visit you? Do you want to manifest them coming to live in the area? Because if you're talking about other specific people that you're looking to manifest, what is the nature of the experience that you want to have with this other person? That's the question that I'm asking those other people. I'll make sure to go live more often, Caitlin. I'm actually doing really good. Completely revamped and redid all the stuff in the business. So that's why if you guys have tried to book calls with me, they haven't been available. Like I closed everything out back on March 28th. And I've been doing a revamp on everything. So like all the links are getting redone throughout all the videos on the channel, and access is completely restructured. So like how I'm doing all the stuff. So if people want access to have conversations, the only thing, oof, my gosh, my knee. The only thing I'm planning on releasing would be a little tiny challenge, which is different than my one-to-one calls, and then applications to talk about applications to talk about the two other programs, because I have a group program that I'm launching and a semi-private version of the program as well. And my one-to-one is like completely different, because the one-to-one is pretty much reserved for people who are already like high performers, spiritual business owners, and power couples, because those are the people that make the most sense. Because I enjoy working with those people the most. Well, I enjoy working with those people the most, and those are those are the kinds of relationships that make the most sense for me to pour like my time and energy into one to one. But everybody else who's working on scaling up your business or doing better in your career and just want to get like your relationships, the group program is going to be something that fits a little bit more, especially since the processes that I teach people are repeatable and most people just use the same ones again and again. Okay, so since it's multiple specific people, that's if you have somebody that you saw professionally and wanted to marry, that may be like are you trying to manifest multiple people, or you're not sure which person to manifest as your partner? Because if that happens to be the case where you have multiple people who would all be viable as a partner for you, then in that case the focus is actually let go of the person, because you don't know what the person is, but like focus on a scene that implies that you're already in the kind of relationship that you want to be in, that doesn't include your other person. So it may be you having a conversation with a friend. So in that case, let's say you're having your scene, if you're doing like say Neville Goddard Sats, the feeling of the wish fulfilled scene could be something like you going out to brunch with a very good friend and having a conversation with that friend, and they're reflecting back to you that you just got engaged or that you're married and that they've never seen you happier than you when you're with this person, and like you guys seem like the perfect match and you're wonderful and blah blah blah, and that would be the scene that makes the most sense for you. In other cases, okay, yeah, if that person hasn't found a relationship, that your thing that would probably make the most sense for you would be seen with a close friend or family member where you're talking about your relationship. That's usually the one that works really well for people who may not be sure who the right kind of person is for them. If they have like multiple people that you're considering and you're not sure whether it should be this person or this person, set the people off to the side, and then the scene that you create using Neville Goddard's process. And if you haven't read Neville Goddard stuff, I would suggest go checking out all the other videos on my YouTube channel, or listen to one of his lectures where he talks about the process of the state akin to sleep, which is essentially where you decide on what it is that you want to create in your life. It could be money, it could be health, like a better body, it could be wealth. Well, that's the same money, or it could be relationships. Um, and what you do is craft a scene that implies the end state, the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You craft a scene like a screenwriter that implies that you have the thing that you want, which could be the ideal relationship. It could be you're married. It could be you're texting and you're connected back with your ex. It could be you going out to dinner with this person, whatever it happens to be. You construct a scene that implies you have what it is that you want. Not that you're working to get it, but that you have it right now as a present fact. Once you have written down and constructed what that scene is, the next part of the process is to lay yourself down right before going to bed and relax the body, going into an altered state of consciousness by getting the body very, very relaxed in what Neville Goddard referred to as the state akin to sleep, which we now know and understand as the theta brainwave state, which you can actually listen to theta brainwave binaural beats, which will help your brain get into the theta brainwave state. Once you get relaxed and your mind at that brainwave state, you begin to see from first person that you are in that particular scene. and you play that scene again and again, rehearsing it like an actor. You are playing that scene, doing it until you feel the tones of reality. You feel the feeling inside of your body that you have what you want right now. Not in the future, not later, not hoping that this happens, but feeling it right now as a present fact. When you sit there and you have the ability to feel like it is real now, and that you're going through the scene again and again, hearing the person talk, whatever that happens to be, by doing that, repeating it again and again, and then going to sleep in that feeling, that is what ends up manifesting the experience. Now, there are many different explanations as to why this happens. There's the psychological explanations as to why this happens. There's spiritual explanation as to why this happens. To be 100% honest, it really doesn't matter which reason that you do it. Why it happens, the only thing that matters is do the action, do the activity. Choose a scene, lay down, get yourself into a tired, relaxed, drowsy state, repeat the scene again and again, go to sleep in the scene. Go to sleep in the feeling. Do it for several nights. Don't tell anybody that you're doing it either, because that gets counter intentions. Don't tell anybody that you're doing it. Hold on to that scene. Go to sleep in it. Do that for several nights. Watch what happens. Just do it. You already have. You already have, Caitlin. All right, all of the above, my purpose in life. This even comes in handy when you know that someone has something like ADHD and you like to see them properly treated and healed of it. Trust me. Yeah. When it comes to people with ADHD, that's not really something that's too bad. That's something that can be managed. That's not that bad at all. Like, I have a very successful 6-figure business, which I'm working to scale up. I got the ADHD's bad. It's fine. So if you want, you can see somebody healed of it, or they're operating properly. It just mostly has to do with the way the brain was structured around stress. Like being in a stressful environment when you're growing up, when you're in the womb, and how you need a dopamine load. Most people really, really seriously need a dopamine load to be able to process things properly. Just keep, just. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, anybody can do it. There's no insult there. Like, anybody can operate just fine. Hey guys, people are just tuning in. If you got any questions related to your relationship or relationship problems, trying to manifest your person back, or working on manifestation, drop them down in the chat. I always love these things to be interactive. And if you have any other questions, ask your questions away. Be more specific. The more specific your question or problem, the better answer I can provide. I love doing this stuff. Good. Yeah. Whew. One other thing that was interesting I was having a little bit earlier today with somebody was we were talking about um being around and seeing other people, not necessarily your specific person, but seeing and talking to and interacting with other people and how that's helpful. And this one guy, he was talking about this girl that he wasn't interested in. Like he had started treating her like a sister. He was just like, sit down. I'm not interested in you. But he could tell that she was genuinely interested in him. And it was funny because when he talked about her, he felt in control. He felt like he was in power. And he had this like joyful smile because this girl was like reaching out to him, talking to him, saying like, "Oh yeah, you influenced me to read a book. I haven't read a book in years, and now I'm reading because of what you said and like the conversations that they had, and that she missed seeing him at dance classes, and that she wanted to, hang out." And he was like, "Hey, I'm not. I know you want to dance with me, but I'm not particularly down to dance with sweaty women today." He was having fun and he was enjoying himself, and you could see the smile. And I was like, notice how you sound when you talk about this woman as opposed to your specific person, because he was struggling with stuff related to a specific person. So I'm like, notice how much happier and more joyful you are talking about this girl that you're not interested in right now, because you're being happy and playful and you're in this position of power, as opposed to being in the negative position when you're talking about your specific person. And this is part of why coaches or other people emphasize the importance of stuff like no contact and talking to others, not necessarily to get into another relationship, but to change how you are feeling and how you're interacting in the world. Because if you're talking to people that you're not necessarily interested in, and you're just like interacting and having just regular everyday relationships, so not talking about like intimate relationships, but everyday relationships and conversations, how that puts you into a positive state that makes you attractive, not only to your person, but to everybody. And you get to attract to you experiences that put you into the same position or feeling of power, the same position and feeling of attractiveness, of joy, of that smile. Um, and once he noticed that, he was like, "Oh, that's why I'm supposed to." I'm like, "Yes, that's why you're supposed to not just focus on your person, but to focus on whatever relationships are currently present around you, and be mindful of that." It's powerful stuff, powerful thing. Anyway, that was a cool little thing. Drop your questions in the chat. Welcome, 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 everybody. Glad to have you here. Drop your questions in the chat. Keep the state, see the page. Yeah, I'm going to be hopping off in the next couple of minutes. So if you have any other questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat. Today's a little ask me anything moment. Before I start posting more videos on the channel, I wanted to start interacting and talking with the people that I currently have. So I'm going to answer any questions that you guys got related to Neville Goddard, spirituality, manifesting relationships. Because Neville's content was good, didn't necessarily mean that Neville's content was always the best related to relationships. All right, ask your questions away before I wrap up and hop up out of here. What else is interesting that I had a conversation about today? If you want to discuss more stuff, one of the things I do offer is my tiny challenge. It's really more so geared towards people who really do want help and support with whatever you're going through. I got rid of my old one-to-one because I was just spending too much time with just random people. So if you're interested in that, one thing that I do have available is the rekindled um, booking call. The other stuff is not available. If you go to like my most recent video, it should be in the chat in the description there. Just click on that and then fill out the information, and I'll get back to you on bookings. Because right now I'm revamping my whole system. So if you're interested in talking, it's the apply link. Let me see if I can put it in the chat here if anybody's interested. Da, 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 da. Do links in the chat work? Oh, they do. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's for the rekindled discovery call. I'll put the actual link so you guys got that. So yeah, if you want to book a call, you can just book in there, apply, and book, and we'll have a conversation. The tiny challenge is something that I'm offering to some people as a way to have a conversation over several days to help you through any of your issues if you have any, if you feel like stuck. My big thing is working with people who feel like they're stuck. You know you have an issue, you know you have a problem. I really do like working with successful people who have already learned how to manifest, especially with like business or their career. Like you're doing really well in that area, but then struggling to apply it in the area of relationships. Like you've already done enough work, you've done the inner child work, you've done maybe therapy, you've already done coaching before. In some way, shape, or form, but you feel as though that you're stuck in this particular area. Those are the people that I like working with. Because you know enough, you've already know that this stuff works, you've done meditation, you've done manifestation work, you just feel stuck in this particular area and you're unsure of like what it is that's keeping you in your current holding pattern, like the same toxic relationship that you keep manifesting back, where you say you're done with this guy and then you end up going back to him, or you keep replaying the same toxic relationship patterns again and again and again, or there's somebody that you want to get back that you know you can do it, but there's just something that's keeping you away from them. Book a call, let's have a conversation. And it's only for serious people who like really do want help with this. Otherwise, just keep watching the videos or check out other channels and people, because I don't have the time for people who aren't serious, especially about fixing their relationships. So if you're like iffy, you're like, oh, I don't know if I want this person back or not, please don't waste your time with the link. Don't even do it. I want the people who are sick and tired and ready for change. If you ain't sick and tired, don't even click. Don't even go. Questions, comments, observations. No ice. Questions, comments, observations before we wrap up. So I'm going to be hopping off in the next 2 minutes. I got another call. What do y'all think of the McDonald's big arch? What y'all think about the big arch? Completely off topic, I know, but I think it's a pretty decent little burger. Pretty decent little thing. Last chance to ask any questions related to your relationships before we wrap up for the day. Just another big burger. It is a big burger. Oh man. Okay. It is another big burger. It's one of those things. Overly priced burger at that. I guess. Yeah, you could probably say that. Yeah, because there are definitely some burgers that are way bigger. Have I helped people who haven't seen or been with their SB in 5 years or more? Have I? It's a good question. I've had people who've come to me with large gaps in between when they've seen their person. Like one person was about 2 years. Uh, Anybody else had a gap relationship like that? Help them get into relationships. I had certain people who wanted to manifest that person back. Um, who wanted to manifest that person back and then decided they wanted something else and then got them into the relationship that they really desire. So it is possible. I have done it with guests. I haven't done it with people who have been 5 years. So if you want to be the first, click the link in the book so we can have a conversation. And if I close off before you get the chance to click on the link should also be available as apply for Rekindled, because all my regular bookings are not available. The only thing that's available is to apply to have a conversation. So if you're interested and you want help with that, then let me know. If not, then just stick around on the channel. Either way, I got to help for my next call. Love you guys, and I will see you guys in the next one. I'm going to be dropping a call in the next couple of, not a call, but a video in the next couple of days. Would you suggest doing to have them move back in a committed relationship? Yes, I'm interested. Yeah. Just go ahead and book a call. Let's have a conversation. So just like fill out the information on the Calendly link, and then we'll have a conversation, and I'll help you out. I'll look out for you, Jules. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. So click the link. If you don't find the link there, the link should also be available in my latest video. I'm gonna actually put it inside of my my YouTube channel as well. I gotta hop for this call. I'll talk to you people later. Thank you all for hopping in. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.